would like. I want to ask my friend from Virginia again. What I've seen from Mr. Griffith, Madam Speaker, is someone who's fought on behalf of the institution, not on behalf of Republicans, not on behalf of Democrats. Without throwing my friend under the bus, he's been in the minority of my conference as often as he's been in the majority, fighting to do the right thing because he thought we were on the wrong path. And he was saying, you know what, you may think this is politically expedient today, but you're going to regret this. And the decisions we make aren't about politics. They're about people. They're about the institution. And so I'd like to yield to my friend if he has anything to add.
Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I appreciate it. And I would reiterate and thank the gentleman for his kind comments. And he's absolutely right. I come here not today as a Republican or a Democrat. I come here as an American. And I have no agenda today except to defend the Constitution. And while the courts may ultimately determine that my friends on the other side of the aisle are right, I believe they are sorely wrong, Madam Speaker, sorely wrong. Because we are not just talking about voting from afar, and while I would have problems with that as well, I will tell you it is more critical than that because the Constitution calls on us to meet, to assemble, and to have a quorum. And the Founding Fathers debated whether or not that quorum should be a smaller than 50% amount. And they determined that was not right because then it would tilt power into the hands of those that live closer to the Capitol, like Mr. Byer, who apparently is carrying at least 9 proxies. It tilts power into those people's hands and away from the states that are further away, like Colorado and California. And so, Madam Speaker, I would submit to you there is a reason that in 231 years this has never come up, even though they could have written a letter, as I said before. They could have easily written a letter. They could have written a letter and say, hey, I can't get there right now. Give my vote to my friend. They didn't do it. They could have said, hey, for purposes of a quorum, count me from afar by letter. They knew how to write. Messages were traded all the time, but instead they went to wherever the Capitol was at the time, whether it be in Philadelphia, whether it be in Washington, D.C. in a hotel, and they did the people's business. They did not cede that authority to anyone else. They kept it for themselves, and that's what the Constitution calls for. And you know what? As I said before, they never did it. They never thought they should. They never thought they could. And ladies and gentlemen, and Madam Speaker, I have to tell you, we go all the way back to the Declaration of Independence. And Caesar Rodney got on his horse while deathly ill with cancer, suffering from asthma and the gout, to ride to Philadelphia to cast the deciding vote for his state of Delaware because he needed to be there live in order to do it. He needed to be at the Capitol. He needed to be at the meeting place of this country, even in its infancy, to cast the vote no matter what. And he rode through a storm. And so we continue to have the policy because it was the Founding Fathers' wish and because it is the right thing to do, that if you're going to count as a quorum, you meet in the Capitol. You may designate a different place for that Capitol. We might designate it in Colorado if need be. But wherever the Capitol is designated, this body must come together, representing the people from the various states of this union, and we, each individual, shall cast our vote, not 10 votes here by one and 8 votes there by another, but one by one, each district, as determined in the decennial census, shall cast their vote on each and every measure. And when we don't do that, we don't do our job. And when we don't do our job, we cast a doubt on every action we take. I yield back.